The Galactic Council was the greatest ruling body in the known universe. It controlled hundreds of star systems, thousands of planets, and countless species. But among them, one species stood apart: humans. They were not the strongest. They were not the smartest. They did not have the most advanced technology. Yet, they were different. Humans had something the Council feared: their will to survive, to fight, to never surrender. For years, humanity had expanded across the stars, building colonies and trading with other species. At first, the Council ignored them. But as humans grew stronger, more independent, and more unpredictable, the Council decided they were dangerous. Then came the war. The details of the war were rarely spoken about. Humanity fought harder than anyone expected. Their ships were not the biggest, but they were fast and clever. Their soldiers were not the strongest, but they were resilient and fearless. They used tactics that no other species had imagined. The Council won, but barely. The cost of victory was far greater than they had planned. They expected humans to be an easy opponent, but instead, they had faced a battle unlike any before. The Council could not allow humanity to rise again. So they made a decision: Earth must be controlled. The Galactic Council gathered in their grand chamber, a massive hall floating in the center of a glowing nebula. The representatives of the most powerful alien races sat in high seats, their voices echoing as they debated humanity's fate. "The humans are dangerous," one counselor said. "If we leave them alone, they will rebuild. They will come back stronger. They are too unpredictable," another added. "We must make sure they never threaten us again." A final decision was made. A decree was issued, one that would change Earth's future forever. Humanity was declared a lesser species. Under this decree, humans would face strict restrictions. No human ship could travel beyond their home system. No human colony could grow without Council approval. No other species was allowed to trade or ally with Earth. If humanity resisted, the Council would respond with force. The announcement was made across the galaxy. Some species agreed, believing humans were too dangerous. Others remained silent, too afraid to challenge the Council's decision. And on Earth, the news spread like wildfire. At first, there was shock, then anger, then silence. The Council expected humanity to beg for mercy, to try and negotiate. But humans did not. They did not protest. They did not fight back. They simply disappeared from galactic affairs. Earth closed its borders. No signals were sent. No ships were launched. The once busy human colonies went dark. The Council was satisfied. In their eyes, humanity was broken, defeated, and forgotten. They believed they had won. They had no idea what was coming next. For years after the Council's decree, Earth remained silent. No human ships were seen in space. No messages were sent. No trade, no alliances, no movement beyond their own solar system. The rest of the galaxy believed that humanity had accepted its fate. The Council was satisfied. Humanity was defeated, or so they thought. Deep beneath the surface of Earth, something was happening. In underground cities, hidden research labs, and secret space stations, humanity was not broken. It was rebuilding. The Council had underestimated humans once again. They thought Earth would remain weak without outside help. They were wrong. A new beginning in the shadows. In a massive underground facility, a group of human scientists and engineers worked tirelessly. New technology, stronger than before, was being created. A scientist named David stood before a glowing blue screen, his eyes scanning the data. "Our energy systems are now twice as efficient as before," he said. "Soon, we won't need any outside resources." Beside him, an engineer named Mira nodded. "Good. The Council cut us off, but we've adapted. They think they've trapped us, but we're becoming stronger in the dark." On the surface, Earth looked quiet. But beneath the planet, new ships were being built, faster, smarter, and undetectable. On Mars, Humanity's biggest colony had been shut down by the Council's decree. But unknown to them, in the deep caves beneath the red dust, factories were running day and night. The colony had learned how to survive without needing anyone else. The Council thought Earth needed their help. They did not realize Earth had learned to stand on its own. The disappearance of Council probes. As the years passed, some alien species grew curious. They sent small probes to scan Earth. One by one, these probes vanished. A Council general, an alien named Varish, sat in his command room, staring at his screen. His assistant, a nervous officer, reported, "Sir, our latest probe near Earth has disappeared." Varish frowned. "Another one?" "Yes, sir, just like the others. No signal, no debris." This was impossible. No species had the ability to make probes disappear without a trace. Not even the Council's most powerful members. What are the humans hiding? Varish muttered to himself. But the Council was too arrogant to investigate further. They believed humanity was no longer a threat. They did not see the storm that was coming. A hidden power awakens. On Earth's hidden moon base, a small group of human leaders gathered in a dimly lit room. These were not politicians. These were survivors, thinkers, warriors. An older man, General Harris, stood up. His voice was steady. "The Council thinks they won." He looked around the room. Engineers, scientists, pilots, and strategists stared back at him. "They don't know we have technology beyond their imagination." Harris pointed to a nearby screen, showing a sleek, black spaceship, unlike anything the galaxy had ever seen. It had no visible weapons, no heat signatures, no weak spots. It was completely undetectable. Mira smiled. "They called us lesser and tried to trap us. Instead, they gave us time to evolve." David nodded. "And when the time is right, the Council will learn the truth." The room fell silent. The world thought humanity was broken. But in the darkness, humanity was preparing to rise. The Galactic Council ruled the stars with confidence. They believed they had complete control over every species in the galaxy. And they believed humanity was no longer a problem. For years, Earth had been silent. No trade, no expansion, no activity beyond their own solar system. The Council thought their decree had crushed human ambition. They were wrong. A mysterious encounter. On the edge of Council space, a small alien patrol ship drifted through the void. Its captain, Terran, a reptilian officer from the Zargan species, sat in his chair, bored. His job was simple: monitor space for any illegal activity. Suddenly, a bright signal flashed on his screen. An unidentified ship had entered Council territory. Terran frowned. "What is that?" His crew scanned the object. The data returned shocking results. "Sir, it's a human ship." Terran's eyes widened. This was impossible. Humans were not allowed in Council space. Their ships were outdated, slow, and weak. Yet this ship had entered without permission. "Send a warning," Terran ordered. His communications officer sent the message. "Human vessel, you are violating Galactic Council law. Identify yourself immediately or face consequences." For a moment, there was silence. Then the human ship disappeared. Not into hyperspace, not through any known teleportation method. It simply vanished from all scanners. Terran jumped to his feet. Where did it go? His crew frantically searched the screens. Nothing. No trace. It was as if the ship had never existed. Terran felt a chill run through him. This was not normal. The Council reacts. News of the strange human ship spread quickly. Within hours, the Council gathered for an emergency meeting. The Grand Hall was filled with leaders from different species, all speaking in worried tones. A tall, blue-skinned alien named Chalvik, one of the high-ranking counselors, raised a hand for silence. Explained the situation. A nervous officer stepped forward. "A human ship entered our space. When confronted, it disappeared." The room fell silent. Then whispers filled the air. That's impossible. Humans don't have that kind of technology. This must be a mistake. Chalvek narrowed his eyes. Are you certain it was a human ship? The officer nodded. Yes, Counselor. The design matched old Earth vessels, but it moved faster than any ship we've seen. And then it was just gone. A deep sense of unease spread through the chamber. The Council had declared humanity a lesser species. They had expected humans to grow weaker. But now, a single ship had done something that defied all known science. A silent threat. The Council ordered more patrols near human space. The Galactic Council grew uneasy. The mysterious disappearance of a human ship had shaken their confidence. Humans were not supposed to have such technology. They were meant to be weak, isolated, and forgotten. But now, something was wrong. Probes sent near human space vanished without a trace. Patrol ships that tried to scan Earth returned with no data. No signals. No transmissions. Nothing. It was as if Earth had sealed itself off from the galaxy. The Council had declared humanity a lesser species, but now, they feared what was hidden behind the silence. The Council's growing fear. In the Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council, leaders of many species gathered to discuss the situation. A tall, insect-like alien named Revek stood, his mandibles clicking in frustration. For years, we have ignored the humans. Now they act as if they have something to hide. This is unacceptable. Another counselor, a reptilian alien named Varish, growled. They were supposed to be under our control, but now they are moving in the shadows. We must find out what they are doing. Chalvek, the blue-skinned counselor, nodded. We need answers. Send spies. Send advanced probes. We must uncover their secrets. The order was given. The Council would investigate Earth. They believed they still had power over humanity. They were wrong. The spies' failure. The Council sent their best spies, elite infiltrators with advanced cloaking technology, trained in deception. They had infiltrated countless worlds before, but when they tried to land on Earth, they never returned. Their ships went silent. No signals were received. It was as if they had disappeared into nothingness. The few that did make it back had only one thing to say. Earth is not the same. When asked to explain, they only shook their heads, their faces pale with fear. Something had changed. Humanity's hidden cities. Deep beneath the surface of Earth, hidden underground, and within the cores of moons, humanity had built something new. Massive underground cities, protected by advanced shielding. Gigantic shipyards hidden within asteroids. Energy networks so efficient that humans no longer needed any outside resources. They had spent years in silence, not in defeat, but in preparation. On a hidden station orbiting a dead moon, Mira looked at the holographic display of their latest ship designs. The Council still thinks they have control. David smirked. Let them think that. The longer they believe we are weak, the stronger we become. General Harris stood at the center of the command room. His voice was calm but firm. The Council wanted us to remain trapped. Instead, they gave us time to evolve. Now, we are far beyond them. He turned to the display, showing the Council's latest attempts to spy on Earth. Every ship, every probe, every attempt had failed. The Council was blind. They think we are hiding, Harris said. But the truth is, we are watching them. The next step. The time for silence was coming to an end. For too long, the galaxy had treated humanity as a lesser species. Now, the galaxy was about to see the truth. The humans had not been defeated. They had not been broken. They had been waiting. And soon, the Galactic Council would realize their mistake. For years, humanity had remained silent. The Galactic Council believed Earth was under their control. They thought humans were weak and broken. They were wrong. The spies had failed. The probes had vanished. And now, the Council was starting to fear the unknown. But they still did not understand how much humanity had changed. They were about to find out. The Council's decision. In the Grand Chamber of the Galactic Council, tension filled the air. The high-ranking members of various species sat in their towering seats, discussing the latest reports. Varish, the reptilian general, slammed his fist on the table. We cannot allow this to continue. We must take action against Earth before it is too late. Chalvik, the blue-skinned counselor, nodded. Humanity has ignored our laws. They refuse to communicate. They have something to hide. Revik, the insectoid leader, clicked his mandibles. Then we must force them to obey. A decision was made. A fleet would be sent to Earth. Not for war, not yet. The Council still believed they could control humanity. They would send ships to demand surrender. They would make Earth kneel. They had no idea they were walking into a trap. The fleet arrives. A massive Council fleet, over 50 warships, arrived near Earth's solar system. They positioned themselves just outside human space, broadcasting a message to Earth. This is the Galactic Council. You have violated the decree. Submit to our authority immediately. Silence. Minutes passed, then hours. No response. Inside the command ship, Admiral Kovas, a veteran of many battles, frowned. Why are they not responding? His officers looked at their screens. Sir, there are no signals, no movement. It's like the entire system is empty. Kovas did not like this. Something felt wrong. Still, the Council had given an order. They would proceed. Move the fleet closer, he commanded. We will force them to answer. The ships advanced. And then, it happened. The ambush. Without warning, the lead Council warship vanished. No explosion, no debris. It was simply gone. Admiral, a panicked officer shouted. We lost the Vanguard. Kovas jumped to his feet. How? Was it attacked? No energy signatures. No weapons fire. It just disappeared. Before they could react, another ship vanished. Then another. Panic spread through the fleet. They had no idea what was happening. Inside the Council command ship, alarms blared. Officers shouted as one by one, their ships were erased from existence. Kovas' eyes were wide with fear. What is this? Then, for the first time in years, a human transmission appeared on their screens. The message from Earth. A single figure stood in the transmission. It was an older human man, dressed in a sleek military uniform. His expression was calm, but his eyes were cold. General Harris. His voice was steady as he spoke. You are not welcome here. Kovas swallowed hard. Human, you will submit to the Council's authority. You. Harris cut him off. The Council declared us a lesser species. They thought we would remain weak. They were wrong. Asterisk, asterisk. Kovas' hands trembled. He had been in wars before. He had faced ruthless enemies. But never had he felt like he was the one being hunted. Harris continued, his voice like steel. This is your only warning. Leave now, or you will never leave at all. Then the transmission ended. And before Kovas could give an order, half of his remaining fleet disappeared. The Council's retreat. The Council ships turned and fled. The survivors did not understand what had happened. They had seen no human ships, no attacks. Yet, they had lost more than half their fleet in minutes. The moment they left human space, their remaining ships finally received an open transmission from Earth. A simple message. The age of the Council is over. For the first time in history, the Galactic Council was afraid. Humanity was no longer under their control. Humanity was something else now, something unstoppable. And the galaxy had just realized it too late. The Council fleet had fled. They had entered human space with confidence, believing they still controlled the galaxy. But they had left in fear. Half their warships had vanished. No explosions, no wreckage, just gone. And the worst part, they didn't know how. Panic in the Council. In the Galactic Council's Grand Chamber, chaos erupted. High-ranking members from dozens of species shouted over one another. "This is impossible. How did they do this? We need to strike back now." Varish, the reptilian general, slammed his claws on the table. "We must retaliate before it's too late." Chalvik, the blue-skinned counselor, shook his head. "With what? We lost half our fleet without a fight. If we attack again, we may lose everything." Revik, the insectoid leader, clicked his mandibles in frustration. "Then we must understand their technology. They cannot have advanced this far in secret." Silence followed, because that was the real question. How had humanity advanced so much? A desperate plan. The Council was afraid, but they could not show weakness. If the other empires in the galaxy sensed their fear, their rule could collapse. They needed answers. They needed a way to fight back. "We must capture a human ship," Chalvik declared. "We need to study their technology." The plan was dangerous, but they had no choice. The Council sent their best operatives, a secret team of elite spies, armed with the most advanced stealth technology in the galaxy. Their mission was simple: find a human vessel, get inside, steal their secrets. They believed they were ready. They were not. A silent chase. The Council's spies traveled to the edges of human space, searching for any sign of movement. Finally, they found something: a small human ship, alone, near an asteroid field. It looked like an old transport vessel. It had no visible weapons, no escorts, an easy target. The spies activated their cloaking devices and moved in. They boarded the human ship in total silence. Their scanners detected no life signs. The ship's systems were running, but the controls were strange, too advanced. One of the spies, a tall feline-like alien named Drelk, touched the control panel. The moment he did, a hidden screen activated. A human voice echoed through the ship. "You shouldn't be here." Drelk's fur stood on end. Who said that? His team looked around. No one else was on board. Then, the ship locked itself. Every door, every exit, sealed. And before they could react, the ship's systems came to life. The engines roared. The ship turned sharply, heading straight for human space, on its own. Captured by humanity, the spies tried everything. They hacked the systems. They tried to force the doors open. Nothing worked. The ship flew faster than anything they had seen before. It weaved through asteroid fields, dodging every obstacle with perfect precision. Drelk's breathing was heavy. They were being taken. After hours of helpless travel, the ship finally stopped. The doors unlocked. The spies stepped out and froze. They were inside a massive human space station, a place so advanced that it made the Council's own worlds look primitive. And waiting for them was a group of humans. At the center stood General Harris. His face was calm. His eyes were sharp. "You wanted to learn about us?" he asked. "Now you will." The spies knew they had made a mistake, but it was too late. Humanity had them now. The Council's spies had failed. They had tried to infiltrate a human ship, hoping to steal its secrets. But instead, the ship had captured them. Now, they stood inside a massive human space station, staring at General Harris. The humans had been silent for years. The Council had thought they were weak. But now, standing inside this advanced station, the spies realized the truth. Humanity had surpassed them. A terrifying discovery. Drelk, the leader of the spy team, kept his posture straight. He would not show fear. "We are representatives of the Galactic Council," he said, his voice steady. "Holding us here is an act of war." General Harris remained calm. "The Council sent you to spy on us. You made the first move. We are simply returning the favor." Drelk clenched his fists. "What do you want from us?" Harris gave a small smile. "I want you to understand what's coming." He turned and gestured for them to follow. With no other choice, the spies walked behind him. the hidden power of humanity. As they moved through the space station, the spies saw things they had never imagined. Giant warships, sleek and silent, docked inside hangars. Energy shields strong enough to withstand planetary attacks. Artificial intelligence systems that made decisions faster than any organic mind. The Council had believed humanity was still weak, but this was beyond anything they had prepared for. Drelk whispered to his team, "This is not possible. They were not this advanced before." Harris heard him and stopped. He turned to face them. "You think this happened overnight?" His voice was calm but firm. "The Council tried to keep us weak. You restricted our technology. You blocked us from trade. You made sure no one helped us." He looked directly at Drelk. "But you underestimated one thing." Drelk hesitated. "What?" Harris' eyes were cold. "Humans don't wait for permission to survive." The Council's mistake. Harris led them to a large observation window. Outside, a massive fleet of human warships moved in perfect formation. Silent, deadly, ready. The Council thought they controlled the galaxy, Harris said. They believed they could decide who was strong and who was weak. He turned to the spies. "But we were never weak. We were just watching. Preparing." Drelk swallowed hard. You planned to attack the Council." Harris gave a slow nod. "The Council started this. We will finish it." A message to the Council. The spies were sent back to the Council, not as prisoners, but as messengers. They had been given a simple task: deliver a message. When the Council received them, the Grand Chamber was filled with tension. The leaders of many species waited to hear what the humans had said. Drelk stepped forward. His voice was quiet, but the fear in his eyes was clear. "The humans are coming." Silence. Then the human message played on the screens. General Harris' face appeared. His voice echoed through the chamber. "You treated us like a lesser species. You kept us weak. You thought we would never rise." His expression darkened. "Now the age of the Council is over. The age of humanity begins." Then the screen went black. The Council chamber was silent. No one spoke. No one moved. For the first time in history, the Galactic Council knew true fear. Fear spread across the Galactic Council. For centuries, they had ruled the galaxy, deciding which species could rise and which would remain weak. They had believed humanity was nothing, a small, unimportant species. Now, they knew the truth. Humanity was stronger than they had ever imagined, and they were coming. A desperate meeting. The Council chamber was filled with tension. Leaders from every major species sat in silence, their minds racing with fear. Varish, the reptilian general, slammed his claws on the table. "We must prepare for war. We cannot let humans destroy us." Chalvik, the blue-skinned counselor, shook his head. "We don't even know the full power of their fleet. Our last attack failed. Half our ships vanished. We still don't know how." Revik, the insectoid leader, clicked his mandibles. "Then we must negotiate." Gasps filled the chamber. "Negotiate? With humans?" Varish growled. "They will not listen. They want revenge." Chalvik sighed. "Perhaps, but what other choice do we have?" The Council had never imagined this day would come. The rulers of the galaxy were now begging for peace. But would humanity accept? The message to Earth. A transmission was sent to human space. "We, the Galactic Council, wish to discuss peace. We request a meeting with your leaders." For hours, there was no reply. Then finally, a response came. General Harris appeared on the screen. His face was calm, but his eyes were cold. "Now you want peace." The Council members felt a chill. Harris continued, his voice steady. "When you thought we were weak, you gave us no mercy. You blocked our trade. You forced our people into poverty. You sent ships to threaten us." His expression darkened. "Now that you are afraid, you beg for peace." Silence. For the first time, the council had no words. Finally, Chalvik spoke carefully. Humanity has proven its strength. We acknowledge our mistakes. But war will destroy many lives. We must find another way. Harris studied them. Then, finally, he said, "We will meet, but do not expect mercy." The meeting begins. The Galactic Council's leaders traveled to the edge of human space. They arrived at a massive human station, one larger than any council structure. It floated in the darkness, surrounded by a fleet of silent warships. The council leaders stepped into the meeting hall, feeling small under the watchful eyes of human soldiers. At the center of the room stood General Harris. Beside him were other human commanders, their faces unreadable. The council leaders took their seats. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then Harris broke the silence. "Tell us why we should let the council survive." The leaders felt their hearts pound. They had once controlled humanity's fate. Now, humanity controlled theirs. The Galactic Council leaders sat in the human meeting hall, surrounded by silent soldiers. Across the table, General Harris watched them, his eyes cold and unreadable. For centuries, the Council had controlled the fate of countless species. They had believed they were invincible. Now, they were at the mercy of humanity. Harris leaned forward. "Tell me why the Council should survive." A plea for survival. Chalvik, the blue-skinned counselor, cleared his throat. His voice was careful, almost desperate. "We understand that we have wronged humanity," he said. "We admit our mistakes. But destroying the Council will bring chaos. The galaxy needs order." Varish, the reptilian general, growled low. "We are willing to negotiate. We can give you anything: resources, technology, power." Harris remained silent. His sharp gaze studied them, as if weighing their worth. Finally, he spoke. "You think we want your gifts?" Chalvik hesitated. "Isn't that what every empire wants?" Harris shook his head. "No, we don't want your riches. We don't want to rule like you did." The council members exchanged nervous glances. Humanity's true victory. Harris continued, his voice firm. "The council is finished. You will never rule again." The room tensed. Revik, the insectoid leader, clicked his mandibles. "Then, what do you want?" Harris leaned back in his chair. "A new system, a new order, one that is fair." The council members stared in disbelief. They had expected war, destruction, conquest. Instead, humanity wanted something different. The new galactic order. Harris explained. The council would be dismantled. No longer would a few species control the galaxy. Instead, every species, big or small, would have a say in their future. Trade restrictions would be lifted. Technology would be shared fairly. No species would be held back. "This is our offer," Harris said. "You can accept it or face the consequences." Varish hissed. "And if we refuse?" Harris' voice was calm. "Then you will be left behind." The end of the council. The council leaders sat in silence. They had no choice. If they refused, their empires would collapse. Their people would turn against them. One by one, the leaders lowered their heads in defeat. "We accept," Chalvik said quietly. Harris nodded. "Then from this day forward, the galaxy belongs to everyone." The meeting was over. The council was gone. And humanity had reshaped the galaxy forever.